What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to talk about the child tax credit. So we have good news coming out of Washington when it comes to child tax credit. We actually have two pieces of good news to share. And then I also want to talk a little bit about people on Social Security, because I think there's an opening here for actually monthly payments when it comes to Social Security. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I think they could use this strategy, this child tax credit strategy with Social Security. So that's what we're going to discuss today. But first off, on this channel, we talk about news that matters. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And also, like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's get right into the good news about the child tax credit. So today, checks will be going out. So electronic checks will be sent out today. If you're not receiving an electronic check, if you're receiving it by mail or debit card, you will also receive that later this week. So it's really good news for people who are families who have children and are receiving this child tax credit. I did an extensive video, very detailed video about the child tax credit. So I will post that in a link at the end of this video so you can check that out. But this is really good news for people who have families that you'll be receiving the $300 or the $250, depending on how old your child is. And also, if you want to make some adjustments, you can go over to the IRS website and make those adjustments. Like if you want to change your banking information and things like that, you can do that in the IRS website. Now, the second piece of good news when it comes to the child tax credit, Democrats right now, they're talking about the extension. So they've really hammered down this 2025 date. So that's when they're talking about extending the child tax credit to 2025. Now, this is really good news for families who are receiving these monthly payments. They want to continue sending out these monthly payments. They're going to focus on putting this in the $3.5 trillion bill. And so now that we're hearing the politicians talk more and more about the different proposals, it's good to hear that they're talking about this child tax credit. The only problem that we have right now, Senator Manchin has been talking about making this more targeted. So this child tax credit, he wants to target it a little bit more. He does not want people who are not working to receive this child tax credit. So that's something that we're going to have to look at in the future. So Senator Manchin, once again, jumping out there and letting it be known that he wants it more targeted. And so this could be something that they're going to have to negotiate in the near future, because the plan is September 27th. Around that time, they want to vote on the second infrastructure bill. And in the House, they want to vote on that first infrastructure bill. And then once the Senate gets that second infrastructure bill passed in the Senate, then send it over to the House. And then the House will go ahead and pass the second infrastructure bill. They want to do this simultaneously. So they pretty much want to do it one after the other. So that's what we're looking at right now when it comes to the child tax credit, and then the new news and the good news when it comes to they're planning to extend it until 2025. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about Social Security recipients. Now, we had some good news come last week where we listened to Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Senate, as well as Senator Bernie Sanders. They were talking about this $1,000 voucher, or up to $1,000 voucher, from $600 to $1,000 is what they're talking about. Now, the voucher, they're talking about it as a voucher for Medicare, but I think you can make a strong argument, and I'm hoping that progressives will speak up and make a strong argument for just making it either a $1,200 stimulus or something like that. So not making it a voucher, but allowing seniors to use the money as they see fit. So make it targeted for people on Social Security and then allowing them to use it. But what they could do, and what I would hope that they would do, don't give it as a lump sum. Do it as a monthly payment. And so let's say, just give an example, let's say if it's $1,200, they start at the beginning of 2022, and they start giving out $100 per month. So that's in addition to what you're already receiving. And we already know COLA right now is looking like on average, it's going to be around $100. So that could be a situation where COLA starts in January, you receive $100 for COLA, and then you receive an additional $100 from this plan that they're talking about right now as a $1,000 voucher. Change that voucher to an actual just payment. And I think right now, with looking at the child tax credit and looking at some of these other benefits that are going out, there could be a real strong argument coming from politicians like, look, seniors are being left out. People on Social Security are being left out. Why shouldn't we provide them with some type of monthly payment like we're providing families? So it makes sense to me. I think it would be something that would be easily to implement. It would be a lot easier than a voucher. If they had the voucher for Medicare only, that's one of those things that's going to be kind of hard to get that rolled out and spent. So I think if it's just like a $1,200 stimulus check in the past, do the same thing, but instead of giving the one lump sum, do it $100 per month. And that way, in the future, they might be able to extend that, just like they're talking about extending the child tax credit to 2025. They could extend this credit for 2025, or I'm just giving an example, but they could do the same thing with Social Security that they're doing with families right now. So I want to know how you guys feel about this, so let me know down below. So like I said, this week and next week, it's going to be very busy. So make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification. I put out videos daily, so I will update you on all the different things that are going on. But we're looking at the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill, and we're now hearing more about what's in this second infrastructure bill. And so we'll start hearing even more proposals coming out the next couple of days, as well as into next week. Congress returns, all of Congress returns next week on the 20th. And when they return on the 20th, they're going to have to get the ball rolling because they only have 7 days to get this done. And so we're going to be really watching what happens, but they'll return on the 20th. They have 7 days. People are going to be looking for something to happen around September 27th. And I say around because Senator Bernie Sanders he said, it might not be exactly on September 27th, but maybe around that time that they'll be voting on these bills. So we'll have to see how Congress, we know Congress is always delayed. They always wait till the last minute. They'll work into the weekend, all that kind of stuff, because they don't want to do things right away. They want to take their time. So we'll have to see. It might not be on September 27th, but it should be around that time. So that's all for today's video. If you found this information informative, please hit that like button, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.